Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is your instructor Joy. So this is one of our shifting technique series. Today we're going to talk about Galamian Method. So let me first play one of his exercises. So this was one of Galamian's one finger scale on G string, starting from first position all the way to the 13th position, I believe. Galamian is no doubt one of the prominent violin pedagogue. His students are a great proof for it. So several students of his are Itzhak Perlman, Michael Rabin, Pinka Zuckerman, and many other great violinists. So, and not only that, he has his own scale book, of course, his contemporary violin technique. And also he wrote books when it comes to principles of violin playing and teaching and so on, and which is great read and great information. So I will be talking both books, the contemporary violin technique and his other principles of violin playing and teaching, to give an idea of when it comes to his way of approaching when it comes to shifting. So he starts his contemporary violin technique book first starts with a one position scale, all four strings, and then right away he jumps into one finger scale, showing how important the shifting is. It's early on. As soon as your fingers are warmed up, then we need to start with the shifting. Not only just a little, but all the way to the extremely high. So sometimes his books, his contemporary violin technique book, can be a little hard to understand for many students because the marks are not always clear. But if you take your time to read very first couple of pages, he explains what the line means. The long line after number means leaving the finger zone or continue using the same finger, and so on. So that's for another video. I'll try to make another video when it comes to how to practice Galamian scale books, because that's a lot more to be said. Anyhow, back to shifting. So of course, when it comes to shifting, you need to keep general ideas of how to keep your left hand position depending what position and what keeping the left fingertip and so on, which you can review again going back to my shifting technique part 1 and part 2. So Galamian applies all that. But what is unique about Galamian's approach is he's a little more detailed when it comes to giving instructions during shifting. Namely, beyond all this general idea of keeping left hand position a certain way and keeping the fingertip, the shifting fingertip light, he also suggests the importance of having the thumb completely relaxed. When you think about it, in order to slide it back and forth smoothly, the thumb must slide along by keeping it light. If you're pressing it hard or anchoring and pushing it or clinging onto it unnecessarily too much, then this thumb is going to block us going up and down, right? Makes sense. But he is one of you who points out the importance of having relaxed thumb when shifting. Yeah, that's first one. Second one is another very important, we might be doing without noticing it, but the Galamian points out, namely, you need to hold the violin firmly and securely during shifting. It is especially important when you're shifting downwards, I find it, right? Going upwards, somehow because we're bringing our left hand towards us, it's not hard. But when we're shifting downwards, descending, somehow we tend to take over holding the violin a little with the left hand, and therefore the left hand gets tense and we lose the intonation. So in order to make sure you're holding your violin firmly, you don't have to squeeze it hard, but firmly enough so that your left hand is free to slide just the way you want it, without any interruption. If you think about it, it makes sense, right? Just make sure you hold the violin firmly. Not take over with the left hand and then that's gonna be out of tune. Just hold the violin firmly, securely. The left hand just slides it down without any interruption. Last one, which a lot of violinists do without realizing it, is slow down the bow speed during shifting. Unless you want the sliding to be heard like glissando. So, I mean, glissando is this. But we don't always want people to hear when we're shifting. So especially you can apply that one when you're playing one finger scale like this particular exercise. So you're not stopping the bow completely, but you are slowing down a tiny bit. On and on, yeah? Just tiny bit, slow it down and make it lighter. The bow still stays on the string. Sorry. On and on, yeah? So, which is, it makes sense when you hear about it, but we don't always think that way, yeah? Which is great that Galamian just puts in order and gives specific instructions how to make your shifting reliable and clean and well. Not only that, and here's another book about when in his book Violin Principle of Violin Playing and Teaching, he talks about also half shifting. Half shifting he categorized as so when you're moving your finger without repositioning or moving your thumb, so he categorized that one as a half shifting. So in his half shifting, there's two types of half shifting. With one is extension, the other one is contraction. So you might have noticed. So let's say we're playing first position, but we want to play E with the fourth finger. We stretch the fourth finger. So this would be extension. Even though I might have flattened my thumb, but my thumb position stays same. Even though I might have flattened it, but I did not move it to the second position. So that's one of his half position extension. Or contraction is the opposite. So instead of playing the first finger here, I bring your first finger maybe a little closer, squeezing it. Something like that, just squeezing it, he categorized under contraction. Now, what do we have to do there while shifting? He explains that when you can use this half shifting as a bridging technique for the proper shifting. Something like this. So we can play first finger and third finger. But if I want to shift from first to second position, instead of shifting straight, I first stretch, which is extension. Now this second finger stretch. Now I'm going to use the second finger as a pivot. Then move the rest of the hand to the second position, which is a new position. Again, stretch. Use second finger as a pivot. Now move the rest of the hand to the new position, which is second. Which is great technique to have for many players, because this will save a lot of trouble. And then he does same idea with the opposite way with contraction. So now here, instead of let's see, instead of shifting from third position from here, instead of shifting, if I squeeze my hand, instead of playing second finger, I place it with a third finger, which Galamian categorized as a contraction. Now third finger, the squeeze finger, becomes a pivot, and then I use that one to move the rest of the hand to the new position, which is the second position. Again, contraction, pivoting, new position. which like that. So this is another great way of expanding your shifting technique. It's not just shifting the entire hand, but half shifting and eventually the complete shifting. Yeah. So I hope you can use that to your own playing and become more reliable with your shifting technique. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again. Bye bye.